Welcome to Tufts University here at Gittleman Park for this JumboCast broadcast of NESCAC baseball. Tonight we've got a beautiful matchup between the Tufts Jumbos and the Colby Mules. My name is Jared Cohen, joined by the man, the myth, the legend, my friend Max Druckman, and we should be in for a good one today. The Mules enter today 18-4, 3-1 in the NESCAC, while the Jumbos are 13-10, 4-2 in the NESCAC. These two teams faced off yesterday, which resulted in a dramatic win for the Colby College Mules. Max, you were here on the field. What did you see?
Well, it was certainly an insane game, to say the least. It finished 12-9, but if you had told me that in the second or third inning, I would not have believed you. Colby's offense jumped all over Tufts starter Connor Pedeswa. They were up 9-0 after 3 innings thanks to an offensive barrage led by the heart of their lineup, including O'Brien and LeClaire. And their starter, Nicholas Thompson, went 6 2/3 strong, only giving up 1 earned run. But once Tufts made some switches, some underclassmen off the bench, their starters came out, they came roaring back, emphasized by a 6-run bottom of the 8th inning with a bases-clearing pop-up double by Malachi Pena. Unfortunately, he struck out with the bases loaded and the winning run at the plate to end the game, 12-9. But there were encouraging contributions from first years like Ian Robertson and Pearson Cooper. And the Tufts bullpen was quite outstanding. Gabe Fitzgerald and Jack Edwards, especially, their contributions were incredible. And Tufts today, one of their victories, or moral victories from yesterday, was that they drained the Colby bullpen, including Scabilio and Agarwal. So that's something to look for today. In terms of what Tufts needs to expand on today, limiting errors, not saving the runs for the end of the game, and getting off to a good start will certainly help them on the path to victory.
Thank you, Max. All right, we're going to go to the national anthem. We'll be right back here on JumboCast. And we are just about ready to get underway here at Saul Gittleman Park. The sun has come out. The ominous clouds have retreated just enough, and it looks like it's a beautiful day for baseball. As Max was talking about the matchup yesterday, bit of a reverse of maybe what we expected. The usually solid Pedeswa got roughed up pretty early for Tufts, and the usually dominant Colby Mules bullpen was roughed up additionally by the Jumbos late into that game. As we get underway, we're going to take you to the starting lineup for Colby. Batting first will be the right fielder, Marcus Forrester, playing first base, and batting second, Ryan Grace. Third in the lineup, the DH, Cole Palmieri. Batting cleanup, the third baseman, Brady O'Brien. Batting fifth, the left fielder, Genki LeClaire. Playing catcher and batting sixth, Ethan Hillenberg. Batting seventh and playing center field, Patrick McConnell. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, Patrick Shrake. And coming in the 9-hole, Clint Flippo, the second baseman. Now the defense for Tufts, headed off by the ace starting pitcher Silas Reed on the mound. At catcher, we will have Malcolm Whitfield. First base, Connor Flavin. Second base, Jesse McCullough. At shortstop, the former Defensive Player of the Year, Ozzie Fleischer. Patrick Solomon at third. We've got Jackson Raydell in left field, Henry Fleckner in center, and Malachi Pena in right. So those will be our lineups as we get started today. Any observations coming in, Max?
Well, I think the primary observation, as you mentioned, is Silas Reed on the hill. His last time out against Bates, he went 7 innings, 0 earned runs, with a quite absurd 17 strikeouts. He went the distance, 7-inning complete game shutout, 122 pitches, only allowed 3 hits. So as we said before, Podeswa did not have his best day yesterday. The Jumbos are counting on Reed to go out and turn in a great starting performance to keep them in the game.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Reed really coming off one of the most dominant performances in the history of the Tufts program with those 17 strikeouts, 7 scoreless innings. He has not given up an earned run in each of his last 3 starts. So, a guy many more strikeouts than innings. He can rack them up pretty quickly, and we should be in for a treat today. When Colby comes around, they will be pitching Thomas Rio, another pretty solid starter. But as we get started, up comes the right fielder, Marcus Forrester. Comes in today batting .370 with 2 home runs and 16 RBIs on the season.
Right fielder, number 7, Marcus Forrester.
Underway, we are at Saul Gittleman Park. First pitch, a little high for a ball. That one foul tip to the mitt. Be 1-1.
Forster, like the rest of this lineup, had a big day yesterday, going 2 for 4 with 2 walks.
Reed finds the bottom of the strike zone, and he'll get up in the count quickly. 1-2. The pitch. Forrester thought about it, but just off the plate.
Unlucky there. Reed thought he had his strike 3 call.
Now the count even. Reed fires. That ball is ripped into left field, but on a line and caught by Rydell. So a quick first out.
Yeah, nice play there coming in by Rydell. We saw him enter the game in place of Owen McKiernan yesterday, and he impressed Coach Svagdis enough to get the start today out in left field.
Yeah, Rydell only 5 starts on the season coming into today, but it'll be his 6th. Someone looking to carve out a more solidified role on the team. Makes a good play to start the game. Up to bat now, Ryan Grace. He'll foul tip that one back right at our face. Grace, the first baseman, has had a pretty solid season. He went 4 for 6 with 2 doubles in the first game of the season and really hasn't let up since then, hitting exactly 300 on the season with 28 RBIs, which I believe is top 5 in the NESCAC. That one just a little bit inside. Will even the count at 1-1.
He's just such an imposing figure in the batter's box. He's got a smooth left-handed swing, 2 hits yesterday on an incredible season thus far.
Yeah, Grace comes into today with an 8-game hitting streak. Funny enough, his batting average actually decreased over the first 7 games of that hitting streak, only 1 hit per game, but he has only been hitless in 3 games total so far this season. As Reed delivers that one, again, just misses, maybe high and outside.
I've seen a few pitches there from Reed to Grace that have missed on the outside corner, especially up and away. Let's see if he can find the inner part of the zone here.
Swing and a miss, and the count runs full. Fires, and strike 3 swinging. First strikeout of the game for Silas Reed.
It's a great pitch there from Reed. Grace chased 2 pitches in a row up and the way. There's no reason to change your strategy if he's going to bite again, and he does. 2 down, and Reed picks up right where he left off. 2 quick outs in the top of the first.
Even 3-2. Reed looked in command right there. So 2 outs, and up comes the designated hitter, Cole Palmieri, potentially the scariest hitter in the NESCAC. First pitch swinging. That one gets through the third baseman, Solomon. Relay will keep him at first, but early offense for Palmieri, and that's nothing to be surprised about.
Yeah, it was quite shocking yesterday. He went 0 for 6 at the plate, but first pitch he sees today, hard hit ball, eats up Solomon, and he's on base.
Now the third baseman, Brady O'Brien, really a star of this program. All NESCAC second team 2021, all NESCAC first team 2022, all NESCAC second team 2023. First pitch is in there for a strike. This is a guy, .341 career hitter, 7 home runs last year, 274, and that was probably a down year. He's been above 360 in every other season. Comes into today hitting 375. Reed with the pitch, check swing, and a stolen base for Palmieri.
That's not something you see every day. The catcher has no hesitation taking second base. Well, he's at designated hitter today, but primarily a catcher. Whitfield's throw just a little high, ends up trickling into the outfield, but Palmieri does not advance on the throw.
Palmieri now 6 for 6 on stolen bases so far this year. As you mentioned, a catcher and designated hitter, but he has some wheels. Count at 0-2 with 2 outs. Reed, that one swing and miss, but a drop third strike, and he will advance to first base. Looked like it might have been tipped, but no, off the catcher. And so Reed records his second strikeout of the inning, but the inning will not be over. First and third with 2 outs now as Genki Leclerc, the left fielder, comes to bat.
Yeah, that was a nasty breaking ball in the dirt from Reed. Whitfield can't get around it, and it trickles to the backstop. You got to do a better job there and end the inning on the sword, as they say, but instead, now you've got runners on the corners.
First pitch popped mile high in the air, heading back towards the crowd, and it will get out of play. Leclerc not going to give you a lot of power, but has improved at the plate, especially in terms of discipline. 2022, his strikeout to walk rate was 4-21. Now this year, 13 walks, 12 strikeouts. So he'll work the count, even if he won't take you deep. Reed delivers outside yet again.
It's not a bad miss from Reed. We saw against Grace, he tried to stay over the outside corner. Maybe that's his strategy today against left-handed hitters, trying to dot the outside part of the plate, and I think he'll go back to it here against Leclerc.
The 1-1 pitch, outside and low. We'll run the count 2-1.
Nice stop from Whitfield.
Runners still on first and third with 2 outs. Ball hit high and drifting out of play to left field. That will be a foul ball.
You know, yesterday we saw the wind blowing the opposite direction. Fly balls to right field ended up in the right field line parking lot, but it looks like the slice is going the other way today. That one hit the left field fence in foul territory. Rydell was unable to make a play.
Yeah, the ball looked like it might have stayed in play at the beginning, but just kept drifting leftward. So something to watch out for. You look at that flag out in left center field. The wind is blowing as Reed delivers again, and a stolen base.
It's a delayed steal there by Leclerc. He picked the right pitch to go on as well. That's a breaking ball that misses high and outside. He read that out of the hand of Reed very nicely, and he's on second base with no contest.
So 2 stolen bases already for the Mules, and threatening 2 runners in scoring position, and a 3-2 count with 2 outs. Reed fouled off by Leclerc. Reed tries to dot the inside corner but doesn't get it and loads the bases on the walk. So now with 2 outs, a dangerous position for the ace Silas Reed. Bases loaded, and up to bat comes the catcher, Ethan Hillenberg. Generally serves as the backup to Cole Palmieri, but gets his time as a starter as well. His 13th start of the year, and he is hitting .317, so by no means a slouch at the plate. He swings first pitch and swings right through it, 0-1.
Yeah, when you can go to a guy that's slugging over 500 off the bench, means you're certainly got depth in your lineup. Another thing you mentioned, that Colby has 2 stolen bases already. Going into this series, Tufts had over 55 stolen bases compared to 43 from Colby. So interesting that Colby has been the one using that strategy so far today.
Reed jumps ahead, 0-2. Will look to find his put-away pitch and get out of a jam in the first inning.
Look to see that breaking ball in the dirt again. as Reed tries to end the inning here.
Reed delivers. Wanted the call, but didn't get it. 1-2.
Looked like that pitch missed just low and outside.
Swung on and fouled back yet again. So Hillenberg fighting.
And these were the types of situations yesterday that Colby was able to capitalize on early. Runners in scoring position, they showed no fear at the plate. They put in good at-bats. They drove home runners. So Reed wants to limit that today to keep Tufts in the ball game and ensure they don't have to fight back later in the day.
The 1-2 pitch. High. And it'll run it to 2-2. So this Colby lineup still fighting, bases loaded, and in a position to do some damage, even with 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Misses high and inside again, and now 3-2. Bases loaded in a dramatic situation here with 2 outs in the first.
For those of you who listened to our broadcast yesterday, we were commenting on the amount of 3-2 counts we saw in yesterday's game, and it looks like we're going to get no shortage of those again today.
Reed fires, swung on and fouled back yet again.
Great at bat here from Hillenberg. Nothing coming easy for Reed.
They'll try it again on 3-2. Look for the pickoff move at second, and it's bobbled away, and the run will come in to score at home plate. A mistake with 2 outs as they try to run a daylight play at second base. We may have an injury as well. That ball bounced off of the runner, which resulted in an opportunity for the Mules to score.
We saw that play twice yesterday when Fleischer sticks his glove out to call for the pickoff move at second base. Looks like Reed's throw hit the runner in the foot, which allowed the run to come across and score. So hopefully he's okay. Looks like we're going to get a stoppage here.
Of course. Not sure this warrants. I know it's baseball. What can you say? These baseball players are a bunch of smart jack. I agree.
Todd, so what are we calling this?
All right, so we're back. Score now 1-0 in favor of the Colby College. Mules on that pickoff play looked like the ball might have hit third baseman Brady O'Brien directly in the ankle maybe. He's looking to shake it off, and looks like he will remain in the game as the runner on second base. That will be an error on the Jumbos and potentially an unearned run for Silas Reed.
Yeah, we said at the top of the broadcast, if the Jumbos want to compete today, they need to keep those errors to a minimum. Top of the first, they've already got 1 in that column. Unfortunate for Silas Reed. He didn't make a terrible throw, just happened to hit O'Brien in the leg. Looks like he's doing some jogging, and he's going to stay in the game at second base.
So Reed gives up a drop third strike, and a runner reaches, and then a run scores on an error throwing to second base. So definitely an interesting inning. Third base now open, runners on first and second with 2 outs. Count remains 3-2 for Ethan Hillenberg. He still has a chance to do some damage. Reed looking to get out of it. Runners go, swing and a miss. So Reed limits the damage in the first inning. It is 1-0. Colby scores 1 run on 1 hit and 1 Tufts error as we enter the bottom of the first. All right, now the bottom of the first inning here at Saul Gittleman Park. The Jumbos will come up to bat. Their lineup is as follows. Batting first in center field, Henry Fleckner. Batting second, the designated hitter, Ben Leonard. Batting third, the right fielder, Malachi Pena. Batting cleanup in the 4-hole, Jackson Rydell, the left fielder. Batting fifth, the third baseman, Patrick Solomon. Sixth, the first baseman, Connor Flavin. Seventh, the catcher, Malcolm Whitfield. Batting eighth, the second baseman, Jesse McCullough. And in the 9-hole, the shortstop and former Defensive Player of the Year, Ozzie Fleischer. Now, the defensive lineup for the Colby Mules, as we mentioned, it will be Thomas Rio on the mound. Comes in today with a 3.37 ERA and 20 strikeouts in 26 2/3 innings. Doing the catching, Ethan Hillenberg. Ryan Grace at first base. We've got Clint Flippo at second base, Patrick Shrake at shortstop, Brady O'Brien playing third base, Genki Leclerc in left field, Patrick McConnell in center field, and rounding it off in right field will be Marcus Forrester. So pretty solid defensive lineup and a Tufts lineup that has done damage this year, maybe not to the level of the Colby Mules, but they've got guys up and down the lineup who can make you pay.
Yeah, and the only real change that we see from yesterday is Ben Leonard coming into that 2 spot at the designated hitter position. Yesterday against the left-handed starter, Coach Svagdis opted for an all right-handed hitting lineup. Now we've got a righty on the mound in the form of Thomas Rio. So Leonard comes back in. He had a big 2-run double in the bottom of the 9th yesterday and a pinch-hitting appearance to earn his spot back in the lineup, but he's still the only left-handed hitter that the Jumbos put out there today.
So we will start off with the center fielder, the speedster, Henry Fleckner. He's been pretty hot this year, coming in today with a 3.79 batting average, 3 home runs, 20 RBIs, and notably 10 stolen bases. He is also a wide receiver on the Tufts football team. We know he can run. Rio delivers the first pitch, swung on, hit to the shortstop. Fleckner racing down the line, but that throw will beat him comfortably, and 1 out on 1 pitch.
Yeah, we said this all day yesterday. Shrake at short is just so calm and composed anytime a ball is here anywhere near him. Picks the ball up and fires a dart across the diamond to retire Fleckner. But Jumbo's showing some aggressiveness, picking up right where they left off, not afraid to swing at the first pitch is Fleckner, and that'll send up Leonard, who looks to keep his hot streak going.
Yeah, Leonard on the season hitting 241. Not all too impressive, but he has been hot as of late. This will be his 17th start of the year. He can play all around the diamond, even can get in at catcher occasionally. The first pitch misses for a ball. Rio looks to find his pitch. And swing and miss from Leonard. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Swung on ahead and hit again to the first baseman. Flipped over to Rio, and 2 quick outs.
Nice diving stop there by Grace. Not diving, but he certainly had to range over and lean over to make sure that didn't end up into right field. And great communication there between him and Rio. Didn't even need to exchange words. Rio knew his responsibility to get over to the bag so that Grace had a way to make the throw and retire Leonard. So 2 quick outs, but 2 rather loud outs, admittedly on the ground for the Jumbos here in the bottom of the first.
Pena now up. Takes the first pitch, and it is a strike.
Pena, one of the few tough starters who made it through the entirety of yesterday's game, came up clutch in the bottom of the 8th with a big bases-clearing double.
Pena fouls that one off to the right side. The freshman Pena has really made an impact in his first season on the team. 377 batting average, OPS over 1,000 coming into today. Certainly someone this team will be looking to for years to come based on how he has performed so far this season. But the count, 0-2. Thomas Rio fires. That ball is lined into left field, and it will be a single for Pena, so the Jumbos get a hit on the board here with 2 outs in the first inning.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Pena's putting together an impressive freshman season, leads the team in hits and RBIs, adds one to his tally right there. Clean line drive single into left field, and the Jumbos keep the line moving in the bottom of the first.
Now the the left fielder batting fourth, Jackson Rydell. Again, only his 6th start of the year, but some confidence putting him in the 4-hole. Coming into today, batting .276, no home runs, 2 RBIs. And he'll have a chance to drive in a run here, potentially, with a man on first and 2 outs.
Don't quite know what that confusion was between the umpire and the Tufts dugout, but nonetheless, Rydell steps in.
Rydell thought about that one. Not sure what they called. Checked to first base. He didn't go, and it will be a ball. Thought that was pretty close, both in terms of placement and whether or not he swung, but they will call it a ball. So 1-0 is the count. Checking on the runner at first. Pitch is inside, 2-0.
Yeah, Rio's not getting that inside corner call on the first 2 pitches of this at-bat to Rydell. Rydell will take it. 2 calls that could have gone either way.
Hitters count. Swung on and missed from Rydell. A big hack. Looking to do some damage.
It was certainly a big hack, as you said, Jared, but unfortunately the ball got up above his hands. Nothing he could do with his swing that he tried to put on that ball.
Rio delivers on 2-1, and that is low. So 3-1. We'll look to avoid a walk here with Patrick Solomon on deck. And Rydell firmly in a hitter's count. See if he comes out swinging on 3-1. Thomas Rio delivers. Fouled off by Rydell. Looked like he saw a pitch he wanted but couldn't straighten it out.
Yeah, hitter's count. Why not take a hack? But now, once again, we're in a full count. Rydell can extend the inning here and give Solomon a chance to hit.
3-2. 2 outs. The pitch. Low and outside for ball 4. So just as Colby did in the first inning, the Jumbos threatening with 2 outs and 2 runners on base as Patrick Solomon, the third baseman, comes up to the plate. He is a mainstay in this Tufts lineup, and this season has been no different in terms of production, as he's hitting .333 coming into today.
Yeah, and started every single one of the Jumbos games so far this season. That's a nice take by Rydell. That was a borderline pitch, but shows composure and earns his walk to first base.
First pitch in the dirt for a ball. Solomon really can do it all. Attempted the most steals on the team last year. Home run in the first game this season, famously a walk-off grand slam 2 seasons ago. Swings at that one and lines it into right field. That looks like it will just fall foul. Maybe inches away from scoring 2 runs. Sliced that one just a little bit too far.
I would have definitely scored 2 runs, especially with 2 outs. Runners going on contact. Just barely missed landing on that right field line.
Yeah, he jumped all over that pitch.
Wind certainly a factor, affecting the slice both ways.
Died down a little, but we'll see it definitely have an impact on this game. So now, 1-1. That ball far too high, and it'll be 2-1. So just when it looked like it would be a quick inning for Rio, running up the pitch count a little bit here as the Jumbos hitters continue to fight.
Yeah, and Solomon's not going to go down without a fight. Picked up his 100th hit in his collegiate career earlier this week.
In the dirt, runners will advance. So now, just like last inning, second and third, base open on at first, and a dangerous hitter at the plate in Solomon. Count is now 2-1.
Yeah, as we said, Hillenberg is not the everyday starting catcher. Cole Palmieri went all 9 innings behind the dish yesterday. did not let a ball past him, so Hillenberg certainly adjusting to the turf and to his starting role today.
Solomon looking to even the score or take the lead. Just nicks the inside of the inside corner for a strike, so a little off speed from Rio, and it'll even the count at 2-2. Can Rio put him away here with 2 strikes? He fires just low, and it's another full count, 2 outs, the third full count with 2 outs we've seen already, only in the bottom of the first inning. And with an open base at first, you might look to be a little conservative here, not give Solomon a pitch to hit, as the coaching staff looking to check with the umpire. I did notice that I didn't say anything. I thought that they did miss a ball on this at bat. When it was 2-1, I think they ran 2-1 a second time, and they did. So an error in the pitch counting will put Solomon on first base. Just to clarify, when the count read 2-1, a ball was thrown, and the count read 2-1 again. So that ball, which listed as 3-1 or 3-2, was actually ball 4. Sorry if confused a little bit right there, but the bases are now loaded with the first baseman Connor Flavin coming up to bat. Flavin, 281 on the season, 2 home runs, 10 RBIs. First pitch.
Borderline ball again, and might have gotten past the umpire that Solomon had actually walked, but nothing gets past Jared Cohen.
I appreciate that. 1-0 is the count for Flavin with the bases loaded. Slams that one back towards the backstop for the count to run to 1-1. Rio delivers high and inside, 2-1, and this inning just keeps on going.
Flavin yesterday went 0 for 3, looking to reverse that hitless performance today in a big spot right here.
Flavin swings and hits that one high and deep into right field, but getting under it is the right field Forrester, and a loud third out ends the Jumbos' threat in the bottom of the first inning, and the score remains 1-0. The Jumbos recorded 1 hit in the inning, and we will move on to the second. Up to bat, start of the second inning, Patrick McConnell swings at the first pitch and fouls it back. McConnell, the center fielder for the Colby Mules, hitting .284 coming into today. Second pitch swung on and missed, so quickly out ahead, 0-2, Silas Reed.
And as you said, Reed works a lot quicker than Rio. Locked in with Whitfield.
Looks to get a chase, but good plate discipline from McConnell. That one grounded to the left side. Third baseman Solomon fires the first and gets the first out of the inning.
Solomon makes easy work of that chopper, reads it off the turf perfectly, retires McConnell, and I think Reed is very much happy that he gets to face the bottom of this Colby lineup, even if it's still a productive bottom of the lineup, looking for a quick inning after what was a very lengthy first inning for both teams.
So now Patrick Shrake, the shortstop, the sure-handed shortstop, as we noticed earlier, to the plate for Colby. Another just hitter who's been raking so far this year. First pitch is high. 4.05 batting average coming into today, and just one of so many guys in this lineup that can absolutely tear you apart.
As a freshman, too, which makes it even more impressive. Starting shortstop hitting over 400 in your first year on the team.
In there for strike one. Yeah, when your 8-hitter is a freshman and he's hitting 400, you know you're doing something right. This Colby team has 5 regular starters batting over 350. They lead the NESCAC in average hits, RBIs, and slugging percentage as that pitch comes in just a little bit low. Really not too much more you can say about the dominance that this Colby team has shown so far this year. Certainly one of the favorites, if not the favorite, to win the NESCAC at this point in the year. Reed now fires that one in there and just high. Looked like that was borderline, but runs the count to 3-1. And Shrake showing some patience here against a dangerous pitcher in Reed. 3-1 in there for strike 2.
Yeah, Reed went back to the fastball, as you mentioned, Jared. The previous pitch just missed on the inside part of the plate. Gets it over the center there, and another full count here.
Lined to the first baseman, and an easy out for Connor Flavin. So 2 quick outs, but we've seen that before. See if Reed can get out of this inning quickly and not let it get away from him with no on and 2 outs.
The biggest takeaway there is those, even though they were balls in play, 2 instances of weak contact against the lineup that straight up mashes. You had a weak chopper and a sort of jam shot line drive. So Reed will definitely take weak contact even if there is balls in play.
First pitch to the second baseman, Flippo, is just outside.
Flippo went 3 for 5 and contributed an RBI yesterday as the Mules put up a 12 spot. Flies one there to center, but Fleckner puts him away.
All right, so a quick second inning for Reed. Settles down a bit, doesn't record a strikeout, but he'll take the 3 quick outs, and we will be right back for the bottom of the second inning as the Jumbos will come back to bat. We're back here. Malcolm Whitfield, the Tufts catcher, coming up to the plate against Thomas Rio. Whitfield not having the strongest year at the plate, hitting .219, but he has 3 home runs, and he's someone this team looks to as a reliable defensive presence at catcher. If you're just tuning in, the score is 1-0. Colby out in front as Rio fires in a strike to start off the bottom of the second inning.
And as you mentioned, it's not the best year from Whitfield offensively, but we found out yesterday Connor Braylo, the senior catcher, is dealing with some injury woes. So Whitfield is the man behind the plate for the time being as he lays off ball 1 there.
Rio takes his time and fires in a strike. That one right down the middle. Looked like a hittable pitch for Whitfield, but staying patient as the count goes to 1-2. 1-2 pitch. Bounced. A chopper. Going to be a tough play for the third baseman. Double pumps and safe at first base. So an infield single for Malcolm Whitfield as O'Brien unable to make what would have been a tough play.
Yeah, both teams' catchers showing some speed early on. Whitfield has 7 stolen bases, and he proves why there, beating out a tough play for O'Brien. And now he's aboard with nobody out, and the Jumbos are threatening.
And now we were talking about walk-up songs a little bit earlier. Jesse McCullough, Let's Get It On. Marvin Gaye, that's an interesting one. Check over to first, runner is safe. I don't know how to feel about that. It's a great song. Interesting choice of a walk-up song.
Certainly gets him in the zone.
I would hope it does. McCullough comes into today batting .329 with a home run and 15 RBIs. Takes that pitch for a strike as Rio gets ahead 0-1. He's certainly been one of the most consistent contributors for this Tufts offense, and batting in the 8-hole gives them kind of a double leadoff vibe going with him and Ozzie Fleischer at the bottom of the lineup.
It's almost a triple leadoff vibe between him, Fleischer, and Fleckner at the top, as Whitfield definitely causing Rio some worry over there at first base. He's got the oven mitt on, proving his intent to possibly steal second base here.
Yeah, Whitfield a catcher, but he's 7 for 8 in stolen bases so far this year. Definitely on Rio's mind as he fires well high.
It seems like Rio's distracting himself from McCullough at the plate here. That pitch nowhere near the zone. And Whitfield at first base definitely getting in his head, causing him to take some time here to gather himself and get the sign.
Rio. Pitch fouled off again.
Rio's been going to that breaking ball in the zone, causing a few rollover swings and some lazy pop-up foul balls from the Tufts hitters, especially against righties. We saw it with Rydell. We see it here with McCullough. So look for him to get back to that one.
Rio looks over at Whitfield on first and throws that way. Ball gets away. Whitfield dashing for second base, and he will stop there. So the danger of attempting a pickoff as the catcher Whitfield moves up to score in position with no outs here in the second inning.
Yeah, and both teams now with one error, and both errors were committed by the starting pitcher on a pickoff play, an errant throw. So some uniformity there in the error column.
Pitch is low, and that's why I think you should just never attempt to pick off.
That's certainly an interesting perspective there. I'm not sure if I entirely agree. I think base stealing is very real, and you do not want to mess with it.
The MLB has it right. You know, they changed the rule. Third pickoff attempt, if you fail, it's an automatic stolen base. And, you know, that's why you don't really see too many pickoffs anymore. But here in Division III, not the case. And we've already seen 2 attempts so far and 2 errors that led to a runner advancing and 1 run scoring. As that ball is just past the second baseman and into right field, they will hold up the catcher Whitfield at third, but a solid knock to right field for McCullough.
Nice piece there from McCullough. Whitfield had to wait and see if it got past the infield before he could advance to third base. That's why he doesn't score. I will say, I do agree with you, Jared, on the pickoff cap. It certainly has sped up the game at the major league level. I think that's something the NCAA could possibly look towards as well.
Yeah, we'll see if that happens. Up to bat now, Ozzie Fleischer, the shortstop, men in first and third. You're exactly right. That ball hung up just a little bit too long for Whitfield to advance on contact. And he lays down a bunt. Looks like a safety squeeze. And he's safe at first base. So Fleischer lays one down, gets the runner in from third, and takes first base as the Jumbos tie the game at 1-1. That is not something you see every day.
You certainly do not, but that small ball at its finest. Fleischer, no hesitation there, laying down a bunt in no man's land in between the pitcher's mound and where the first baseman would be charging. Whitfield knows automatically he is going, and he scores with ease. Fleischer beats out the play at first, diving in head first, and still nobody out. a runner on first and second for the Jumbos as they continue to threaten to put more runs on the board here.
So 3 singles in the inning from Whitfield, McCullough, and Fleischer brings up the top of the lineup in Henry Fleckner. And now a tie game, 1-1. The Jumbos have 4 hits already through 2 innings and looking to do more damage with 2 men on. Looking for another bunt, and he just doesn't get that one down. Will go foul and run the count to 0-2, so unlikely to see another bunt here with 2 strikes.
Yeah, but Fleckner's showing no fear, showing bunt on the first 2 pitches. When you have nobody out, you're in a position where a bunt could advance the runners, put 2 guys in scoring position with only 1 out. So do not mind the intent whatsoever. Probably won't see it here with 2 strikes.
See what Rio looks to 0-2. That ball ripped into right field, but hanging up for the right fielder. He'll take it in. Delayed tag up attempt, but he'll go back to second base. So allowed first out as Rio looks to eke his way out of trouble with 2 men on.
Yeah, good base running from Tufts right there. McCullough at second base tries to force Forster into making an errant throw, tries to deke him into thinking that he's running. And also at first base, Fleischer, the right fielder, so he sees the ball, he sees the play in front of him develop before making any careless decisions on the base paths.
Leonard now, the designated hitter, a left-handed batter, up to the plate with runners on first and second. First pitch, a called strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, and Hillenberg really jumped outside there. Looks like he was baited into thinking McCullough might be running.
Second pitch high. 1-1. A little cloud coverage coming back into play. Hopefully no rain in the forecast. Maybe some rain we're hearing, but hopefully not.
The weather does not want to make up its mind today.
Leonard fouls that one back.
But that's the benefit of a turf field, is that rain or shine. We're going to have a doubleheader today. No postponements, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm hearing they'll play regardless of what the weather gods have to say about it. Ben Leonard now looking to put the Jumbos ahead in this tie game. Rio steps off, fakes the throw to second.
Rio took your advice there. He does not want another errant throw on a pickoff. Just fakes the move to keep McCullough close, but it's not going to take any more risks of that ball ending up either hitting the runner in the foot, as we saw with Reed, or ending up in center field.
And that would have been something. Throw the ball away again. Neither team wants that. Leonard swings and fouls that one off, so the count will remain 1-2. Now, of course, it's a 1-1 game. 4 hits for the Jumbos, but in this inning, 1 solid hit to the outfield, a bunt, and an infield single. So Rio not exactly getting knocked around. Some soft contact has got him in this jam. That one outside, so both teams showing patience at the plate so far.
Yeah, as you said, Rio's not getting knocked around, but if he wants to get out of this inning, he's got to get the ball in the strike zone, try to induce more of that soft contact. Hopefully for him, goes straight to one of his infielders. He doesn't have to worry about the Jumbos reaching base on any more infield hits.
Ball came straight back at me. Another foul. Rio not missing bats so far. Not a big strikeout guy, only 20 strikeouts in 26 innings, but in a situation like this, you want to ring up your best stuff, try to get a swing and miss. See if he can do that here. Count remains 2-2. To Leonard. Ball. He wanted it, but high and outside. Will run the count to 3-2 yet again.
Leonard, at the very least, wants to get the ball to the right side and hopefully beat out a possible double play so that the runner on third, or possible runner on third, and McCullough stays out there.
He rips that one to first base, to the second baseman, back to first for the double play. What a turn from the Colby Mules, and they get out of a jam on a beautifully turned double play. top of the third inning here, Colby got out of that jam dramatically on a 3-6-3 double play, not one you see all too often, and really an impressive one at that. You could see the emotions of the Colby team coming off the field. They were excited to get that one done, and really kind of emblematic of the inning. Soft contact to first and a beautiful defensive play. So even though the Jumbos record 3 hits in the inning and 1 error from the Mules, it will remain a 1-1 game as we turn back to the Colby lineup. It will be the leadoff hitter, Marcus Forster. So back to the top of the lineup. Little check swing, foul ball. Reed got 2 quick outs at the start of the top of the first against Forster, Grace, and Palmieri, but once Palmieri got on with a single, things kind of escalated from there in the first run of the game. That ball sky deep into center field on the run and caught by Fleckner. An impressive play sent him all the way out towards that 370 sign, but he brings it in for the first out.
Talk about a loud out. Forster sent Fleckner all the way back towards that 370 sign in center field. Fleckner, calm, composed, gets to the ball, and he's standing under it by the time it enters his glove.
Now Grace up to bat, the first baseman. Swings the first pitch and fouls it back. Grace was a member of the All-NESCAC second team last year when he hit .350 with 4 home runs and 33 RBI. So he's a guy who can definitely do some damage. Off-speed pitch in for a strike and quickly ahead 0-2 is Silas Reed.
And as the initiator of that 3-6-3 double play, Grace showing he can get it done on both sides of the ball.
0-2 hit opposite field and caught by Jackson Rydell. So solid contact the first 2 at-bats of the inning, but 2 outs to show for it.
Yeah, Rydell's playing pretty far back in left field. We've seen him make 2 nice plays coming in today. And that ball hangs up just long enough, as you'll see here on the replay.
Loud off the bat.
Yeah, definitely.
But no dice. First pitch to Cole Palmieri will be low for a ball. We talked about Palmieri earlier. I mean, 8 home runs, leads the NESCAC so far. He hit, 9 home runs in 2022 and 8 in all of 2023. So pretty much halfway done, and he's already where he was all of last year. Someone who is potentially, as I said, one of the most dangerous hitters in the NESCAC right now. You know, as many home runs as he had all of last year, he's slugging nearly 1,000. Slugging nearly 1,000. That is not a mistake. And looking to do damage, I think pretty solid choice by Reed to work around him there. He'll issue a 4-pitch walk, and Palmieri will take first base.
The Barry Bonds effect, if you will. Once your OPS gets up over 1,500, there's a pretty good chance every time you step up you're going to see 4 straight balls. Reed wants no part of Palmieri there, especially with 2 down.
Yeah, so that's Palmieri's 15th walk of the year, second on the team behind only Brady O'Brien, another star hitter. Palmieri also a dangerous runner at first base. First pitch swinging for Brady O'Brien with 2 outs, looking to put a ball in play and just see if Palmieri can run.
We know from last inning he can. He stole second base.
0-1 low. 1-1.
Good to see O'Brien is all right after being hit by the pickoff in the first inning. Another imposing figure in this Colby Mules lineup.
Strike 2. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Working around Palmieri, only good to a point when you have to face a guy like Brady O'Brien and his .375 batting average in the next spot. But ahead, 1-2, Reed looking to put him away. He fires and just doesn't get the call. Crowd wanted it.
Crowd wanted it, but Reed knew that was outside a little bit, showed no reaction to the umpire's call. That's a professional reaction. That's the mark of a guy who does this all the time.
So 2-2. Runner goes. Pitch is low. Just late at second base and a stolen base for Palmieri, his second of the game.
It's a good decision by Palmieri to run there because I think that pitch might have caught the bottom of the zone, but Whitfield does not have the opportunity to hold it and frame it there for the umpire to see. He's got to get up and make that throw quickly. So O'Brien lives to fight another day on another close call there. Another full count for O'Brien, now with the runner in scoring position.
So the DH, Palmieri, 2 stolen bases on the day, and as you said, full count. As Reed delivers a breaking ball fouled back into the parking lot. Hope cars are okay as the broken glass sound effect comes in. O'Brien looks to fight off another 3-2 again as the clouds looking mighty ominous over Gittleman Park. Reed fires high. Just lost control of that one a little bit. And now, just like the first inning, 2 out troubles for Silas Reed. Men on first and second. Back-to-back walks to Palmieri and O'Brien as Genki Leclerc, who walked in the first inning, the left fielder, will come to bat.
I don't mind that miss there from Reed. At a certain point, once O'Brien's put up enough of a fight, you got to just leave the zone because any pitch you throw in the zone, he's going to take a hack at. So make him work for the walk, but you still have 2 outs, so the threat is minimized by that fact.
Yeah, and Leclerc, a dangerous hitter in his own right, but certainly not to the extent of O'Brien or Palmieri, at least in the power department. O'Brien slugging .611 on the season. Leclerc only, and I say only in quotation marks, .449. That pitch gets through the catcher. Palmieri thought about advancing, but changes his mind and heads back to second. So good job from Malcolm Whitfield to prevent a stolen base.
Yeah, good job from Whitfield there. Knows exactly where the ball is, gathers it quickly, prevents the speedy Cole Palmieri from advancing to third base.
But pitch is getting away from Reed a little bit. He will walk some batters here and there. 15 walks in 33 innings so far. The 2-0 pitch is fouled way up in the air and back out of play.
The strikeout to walk ratio is still quite impressive. Even though the walk total gets up, Reed now crosses 50 strikeouts on the season, which leads the team by a country mile.
Leclerc in the box. Reed delivers, and that ball is driven to center field, but catchable for Henry Fleckner. He brings it in, and so 2-man on, and 3 really loud outs from Colby, who looked to be making solid contact against Reed, but no runs to show for it. It remains 1-1 as we enter the bottom of the third. Bottom of the third here at Gittleman. Up to bat will be Malachi Pena. You know, it was sunny, and all of a sudden it is not. We've got 40 mile-an-hour winds out here on the field, and you know, I had someone tell me the other day that the eclipse was lame. It was a minor league eclipse, and they compared it to the clouds coming in front of the sun. What's the difference? And you know what? I'm tempted to agree. As the first pitch is outside for a ball. I mean, right now, what have we just saw? We saw the sun, and now we can't see the sun. And I don't see how that's any different than what we witnessed earlier this week.
Yeah, but I still think it's something cool that, you know, it was, 45 years since the last one or something?
It was 2019 was the last one, 2017.
Okay, but like the full eclipse.
Yeah, 2017.
Okay.
And in fact, you could just go to different places in the world if you want to see another one. You could fly to, I'm pretty sure there's one in like 2 years if you go to Malaysia or whatever it might be.
I mean, feel free to go to Malaysia, but I think it was a good excuse just to get outside on a nice day.
It was a beautiful day.
It was beautiful. You know, one of the first nice days of this spring, and we haven't had as many nice days since then. So I think seeing everybody out on Pres Lawn, staring up at the sky, looking at, admittedly, pretty much nothing.
See, there's the truth. 1-2 is high, and that's what I think. It was pretty much nothing. You couldn't even tell if you didn't have the glasses on that there was an eclipse going on.
It's the experience, though, you know, the memories.
Well, right now I'm experiencing the clouds go in front of the sun, and I can't see the sun, and to me that's pretty much the same thing. That ball is smoked and caught by Thomas Rio. Not going to see a better play than that. Malachi Pena got every stitch of that ball, and just a get out of the way move saves Thomas Rio. Look at that one more time.
Pena ropes that one off the bat. In his attempt to get out of the way, ball nestles into Rio's glove. So even though the clouds cover up the sun, Rio can still see the ball quite clearly there.
Certainly the most impressive play of the day. Always scary when the ball's hit right back at the pitcher, but literally straight at Thomas Rio's glove. So a loud, scary first out. And Rydell is now at the plate. He'll ground that to the third baseman. O'Brien fired to first, and a second out rather quickly here for Thomas Rio, who looks to have settled down.
Definitely settled down, looks more in control. You don't catch a line drive coming right back at you so nonchalantly if you don't feel in control. So even though he's above 50 pitches already in the third inning, the score is 1-1, and I think he's got to feel good about that.
First pitch nibbles the outside corner for a strike. Rio looking to pitch away to the right-handed Patrick Solomon. Looks away again, and Solomon swings and misses, so 0-2. We'll see if Rio can finally tally a strikeout today.
Solomon doesn't want to fall for that pitch outside again here.
He looks low and outside, and Solomon takes. As I mentioned, Rio, no strikeouts on the day, I believe. 2 walks, 4 hits, 1 run. Popped up down the first base line, playable for Ryan Grace. He brings it in, and that's the quickest inning we've had so far. Jumbos go 1, 2, 3, and we will move on to the 4th inning. It will be Ethan Hillenberg, Patrick McConnell, and Patrick Schrake for the Mules here in the 4th inning. Silas Reed, cooking a little bit so far, gets ahead with a strike.
Yeah, and Reed had 3 strikeouts in the first inning, none in the second or the third. But that means over his last 9 innings pitched, 20 strikeouts.
That is impressive, and that one of those strikeouts was a drop third strike where the runner reached. Hasn't really tallied much swing and miss since then, but we'll see if he can rack up some more. Through 3, he's at 57 pitches, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 1 hit, and a wild pitch. But he's ahead 0-2 to Ethan Hillenberg, the catcher. Looks to paint, but just outside, and a good eye from Hillenberg. Try it again. He thought about it. Now 2-2, so Reed's gotten ahead, but really hasn't been able to put hitters away. 0-2. 2-2, spikes it, and he'll run the count to 3-2.
Yeah, and I think that just speaks to the quality of this Colby lineup. They're not going to bite on pitches out and away, out of the zone. They're going to stand up there. They're going to fight, get the count up, and a lot of long at-bats like we're seeing here from Hillenberg.
Bounce to the third baseman, Solomon. He'll fire to first and get him. So Hillenberg works the count to 3-2, but grounds out to the third baseman, 1 out.
Nice play there by Solomon. His cap went flying off his head, and we're seeing a bit of a weather turn here. The wind's starting to pick up, maybe a slight drizzle.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if it doesn't start raining. I mean, these gray clouds have moved directly over the field here. McConnell now up to bat. Reed looks to work him outside and is down 1-0. Pitch works outside again and fouled back into the parking lot by McConnell. McConnell grounded out in his first at bat. Inside from Silas Reed, now 2-1. Colby still only 1 hit on the day. And as I say that, will not be a hit. Line out to right field. So we've seen some solid contact, especially the last couple innings. That one off the bat of Patrick McConnell, caught by the right fielder Pena, but even with a loud pop off the bat, haven't been able to get anything in the gap so far, and there are 2 outs. So this game has sped up a little bit after a long first couple innings.
Looks like a hit off the bat. Pena's unfazed, stands, collects the line drive right at his chest, but definitely some loud contact there from the Mules.
Reed gets ahead 0-1 against the shortstop Patrick Schrake. And working quickly, Schrake kind of inside out. That ball was in on his hands, but it will be foul. So 0-2 again, and we'll see, can Reed find his put-away pitch?
Yeah, it was a funky swing there by Schrake, sort of dropped his hands and moved his feet. Thankfully, it's not disastrous for him, as it's only a foul ball.
Yeah, we came into today maybe expecting a bit of a pitcher's duel, and we've seen that at least in terms of the outcomes. Only 5 hits between the 2 teams so far. Reed again, 0-2, and will take a step off the mound. Now Reed, awkward swing out to the first baseman, flipped on and safe at first. Almost an unintentional bunt and just couldn't get there fast enough was the first baseman, Connor Flavin. So an interesting kind of bloop infield single there for Schrake, and he reaches with 2 outs.
Yeah, swinging bunt, as they say. I thought Flavin had enough time to take that himself to the bag. Didn't have to wait for Reed to come over and flip it to him. I think if Flavin makes his mind up and takes it himself, that's the 3rd out of the inning.
They'll call it an infield single as Reed drops in a first pitch strike. Flippo flied out in his first at bat and rips that one on a line, caught by the shortstop Fleischer. So Colby continues to hit the ball hard, but directly at Tufts defenders. The score remains 1-1.
As you see off the bat here, it can be a scorching line drive, but Fleischer right there to collect it and retire the side.
All right, so we'll be right back here at Saul Gittleman Park. Score remains 1-1. Leading off for the Jumbos, first baseman Connor Flavin. First pitch swinging, he belts that one to deep center field. Going back is the center fielder. It is off the wall. Flavin rolls into second base, takes a turn, and he will lead off the inning with a long double out at that 370 sign.
Absolutely crushed off the bat there by Connor Flavin. Looked like it had a chance to get out, as you'll see here. It's in on his hands, but he manages to shove it. That shows his natural power. Sends it one hopping off the center field fence, and he's in with a stand-up double, so the Jumbo's immediately threatening here.
So first real extra base hit of the day for either team. We've seen a lot of infield singles, a lot of loud contact resulting in outs, but Flavin gets on second base with that one. Jumbo's looking to be aggressive. Pena now up to bat. Excuse me, not Pena. Malcolm Whitfield up to bat, the catcher. He reached on an infield single his first time around. And with a man on second, he'll look to drive in a run. We've been stuck at 1-1 since the second inning. Borderline inside right there, but good eye from Whitfield will make it a 1-1 count.
I like that take from Whitfield. Even if he attempts to swing at that, at the very most, he's just going to jam shot that into foul ground down the right field line. 1-1 now from Rio.
Driven up the middle by Whitfield. That'll bring in a run. And a solid base hit and a head-first slide from Flavin makes this a 2-1 game.
Just a nice piece of hitting there from Malcolm Whitfield. Forster has no chance, or sorry, McConnell has no chance when he comes up with that ball to make the throw. Flying around third base is Flavin, and the Jumbos take the lead for the first time in this series against Colby.
Solid piece of hitting from Whitfield, who's now 2 for 2 on the day, as Jesse McCulloch, the second baseman, comes up. Still no outs and a man on first. We saw Whitfield run earlier, and they're still afraid of his wheels. Throw over to first.
Rio still going back to that pickoff move as we hear some audible reactions from both benches. Whitfield taking a pretty big lead over there.
Swinging is McCulloch on a 0-0 count, and he'll send it to 0-1. A little bit high and outside from Rio.
You know, we mentioned last inning when Rio caught that comebacker line drive right at his chest that he looked in control. Seems to be losing his control a little bit, having to slow himself down as this at-bat with McCullough becomes longer.
That one belted into right field. It will drop. Again, Whitfield had to hold up. And so men on first and second now. Another solid piece of hitting from McCullough, his second single of the day.
Nice job there. McCullough takes the off-speed pitch, sends it the other way, drops right in front of the right fielder. Whitfield does a nice job there once again running the bases, goes about halfway, takes a look at the ball, and advances. So even though he doesn't get to third base, Jumbos keep the line moving here with still nobody out, and it looks like Colby's going to have a conference on the mound.
Yeah, not surprising. They're looking for a mound visit. The Jumbos seeing Rio pretty well at this point. Couple solid base hits in the inning, including the long double from Connor Flavin. You look at Rio's line, not too bad through 3 innings. He's at 63 pitches, 2 runs. He's given up a double as well as 2 walks, but 7 hits, no strikeouts. So the Jumbos are making contact, and they're making contact consistently now with 2 on and no outs. Definitely time for an adjustment from Rio, who, again, has been the staff leader in ERA for this Colby Mules team as a starter.
Yeah, but when you don't have that strikeout stuff, you got to get contact on the ground and not hit hard. And even though the Jumbos haven't been demolishing the ball today, they've been putting the ball in play in places where the Mules have to make tough defensive plays.
Fleischer, again, looks to bunt with 2 men on, pulls it back for ball 1.
Would not be shocked if we saw another squeeze play here from Coach Svagdis. And I think it's a testament to Fleischer's maturity that even though he's a senior captain shortstop, he's willing to bunt in the 9-hole with runners on base.
Yeah, absolutely. Fleischer, someone who, oh, excuse me, I believe a balk called by the umpire. Rio not happy with that one. We're going to have a little meeting between the coach and umpire, but with a balk, both runners advance. So now no forced play at third base, only at first, and runners on second and third with Fleischer at the plate. We'll see if this conversation results in anything significant.
Yeah, and it looks like when Rio went to make that move to second base, the pickoff move, didn't follow through, didn't attempt to make a throw, and that's why a balk is called. We saw that yesterday, which allowed the Jumbos to load the bases. They don't load the bases here, but now you've got ducks on the pond with nobody out, and Ozzie Fleischer with a chance to do some damage here.
So my don't pay attention to the runners narrative continues to gain some steam. We've seen 2 errors and now a balk. Rio kind of quick pitched that one to Fleischer, and it's now 1-1. Again, Fleischer, he is in the 9 hole, but he does have 2 home runs on the year. He's a solid hitter, someone the Jumbos definitely trust to swing away, but now a runner on third. We could look back to that squeeze. Corner infielders are in. Fleischer hits that one a mile in the air, but it'll stay on the infield. See if someone can call it. And the second baseman, or excuse me, 1 out on an infield fly out from Fleischer. Not what you wanted to do there with 2 men on.
Not what you wanted to do, but still only 1 out, and we could still, again, see a bunt. That's what you got to do when you're the shortstop. Calls everybody off and retires.
Runs 20 RBIs. Grounded out in his first at-bat. Flied out in his second at-bat. But now a chance to do some real damage, as I said. And quickly out in front of Rio.
Rio's starting to lose control of the zone, finishing low. It's not what you want to see with the Jumbos top of the lineup coming up here.
Back out. So
Another term for that.
what if the sun comes in between the earth? And really, maybe a chance to swing away if you're Henry Fleckner, or just look for your pitch and load the bases. Neither. He'll take a strike and run it to 3-2.
Yeah, Fleckner there got to be upset.
Go. The designated
Second baseman and the shortstop will go back to normal depth, try to turn a double play, but Ben Leonard looking
of a cross-up on the catcher Hillenberg, and it'll be 1-0. Prime spot to do put pitch on the outside corner for a strike.
And you mentioned that cross-up. Colby seems to be using like traditional signs with a wristband, which is why Rio takes a little bit longer to get his pitches, whereas Tufts is using pitch comm, which sort of shows why Reed is flying through his pitches.
Bexick get hit off the mound, took a spin, and a runner will come in to score. So Leonard reaches on an infield single and increases the Tufts lead 3-1.
Yeah, we were praising Leonard was easily at first base. That'll be an infield hit, and the line keeps moving. We're up to 3-1, Jumbo's advantage.
Yeah, the line is moving and running up that pinch count as well for Rio. First pitch there, pretty uncompetitive, over 75, and we're not yet through 4 innings. Second runner, headfirst dive into first base, and the Jumbos extend the lead off the bat.
The ball is coming in a little slower, takes his time, gets behind it, shoots it the other way. 2 runners come in to score easily, and now we've got a 5-run tie.
5-1, his second.
Yeah, that
hit to center for
do it, and it's on first and second.
pitch. So in for a strike. 1-2 count. Runners on first and second. Rio delivers and strikes out Solomon. His first increase the lead 5-1, and we will be right back for the 5th inning. Bats came in today batting .370, so the Jumbos done a good job keeping him off the base paths. First pitch from Reed, who continues to work now into the 5th inning, is a ball for the first out.
It's a good job there by Fleckner taking command of his territory out there on the Jumbo's logo in the turf, calling off Fleischer and McCullough to retire Forster. And here comes Ryan Grace, the big left-handed.
Fleckner made it look easy. Grace, as you said, takes a pitch well inside, moved him back a bit. Not happy about that one. Don't think it was intentional.
That's why Fleckner's out there in center field.
And not me. Truer words have never been turn around once and turn around again. Ball carried all the way out to the warning track, but 2 quick outs again now for Reed, who has really settled down.
Nice adjustment there from Fleckner. Off the bat, he reads it the wrong way, turns to Grace. 2 quick outs for Reed here in the top of the 5th.
So we've seen this before a couple innings ago. Got Forrester out, got Grace out, but Palmieri really the spark plug of this lineup. First at bat, single down the third baseline. Second at bat, drew 1-1. Palmieri swings and fouls that second pitch off.
And we mentioned last time, no surprise that Reed pitched around Palmieri in a close game as the umpire goes out to chat with Reed here. But I think once you've some breathing room in the 5th inning.
I think that's exactly it. Last at bat, it was a tie game. Definitely a different equation now as Reed 439. And he rips that one to left field. That one is high. That one continue to rake.
All he does is mash. You know, I'll eat my words. I just said there's no reason not to pitch to him. But talk about the power from Cole Palmieri. That was not a bad pitch from Silas Reed. It was not something you see every day. And now we've got a 5-2 ball game as Brady O'Brien, the 4-hitter, steps in.
And that was a professional swing. I mean, just muscled that one, and really off the bat, you could kind of tell it was gone. 9th home run of the year, matches his career high, and already at the number of home runs he hit all of last season. So that batting average continues to climb towards 500 on the season. Reed fires in a strike there to get it to 2-1 against another dangerous hitter in Brady O'Brien.
It was such a nonchalant swing. As soon as the ball hit the bat, you knew it was going to go out. But Palmieri, as you said, does that pretty much not every day, but does.
Ball in the dirt, swung on and missed for strike 3. So Reed comes back with a strikeout against O'Brien, but the damage is done on a solo shot from Cole Palmieri. Home run from Cole Palmieri to make the game 5-2. Jumbos, though, still ahead on the run column, and they've got 9 hits to only 3 for the Mules. Both teams have 1 error on the day. See if the Jumbos can push that lead ahead a little bit. This will be a 7-inning game, we believe. So not too much time left for the Mules to stage a comeback, especially if the Jumbos can get ahead. We do have a pitching change for
out of Natick, Massachusetts, not terribly far away. On the season, though, only 1.2 innings pitched, has not pitched in the month of April, so it's been a little bit of a while since he's been out there on the mound. In his 2 appearances, he's got 5 earned runs, so if I'm Tufts, I'm licking my lips, so to speak, at the possibility of putting up another crooked number off of Collins here.
He's a big guy, 6'4". Fleischer, 3 guys who have done a lot of damage in today's game. Flavin with a long double in his last at-bat. Collins' first pitch is swung on, and a good start for the freshman Collins.
Yeah, Collins will take that. 1 pitch, 1 out. Flavin tried to replicate his fly ball double from the last at-bat, but just got underneath.
And I believe gave up 3 earned runs in 2/3 of an inning, and then Again, an inning against Williams gave up 2 earned runs in an inning, so 5 earned runs in 1.
Yeah, another time showing bunt at the bottom of this Tufts lineup. They're not letting up, even with the 3-run advantage facing a freshman pitcher who, although his season ERA is 27, I think.
Too much run time regardless, but interesting to see what he will be able to do. Whitfield, 2 singles on the day, an infield single and 1 right back up the middle early. So 3 now.
Yeah, and that's, even though Tufts ended up losing yesterday's game, that was one of the victories they came out with, is that they exhausted that Colby Mules bullpen, especially high leverage guys like Scabilio. So that's probably why you're seeing a guy like Collins come in a close game. And Tufts is really looking forward to facing the end of the Colby bench here.
And Woods jump out particularly, both ERAs around 1.5, but unlikely Colby would want to use them in a game they are losing like this one. That pitch outside for ball 4, so Whitfield works a walk on 5 pitches.
Yeah, we talked a lot about Palmieri being an offense-first catcher, but Whitfield has been on base in every single one of his at-bats today, so you'll love to see that. The 7-hole catcher getting on base.
Yeah,
3 times.
really a positive game for Whitfield. I mean, only came in today hitting .219, but he's got 3 home runs, and to get on base 3 times, 2 singles on the day as well. And Whitfield continues to occupy the minds of this Colby Mules pitching staff. Every time he gets on, they look over.
Yeah, Collins not following the Jared Cohen school of pitching there, making a pickoff move to first base. But I think when you're a lefty, it's a different situation since you can look at Whitfield.
Have 2 singles on the day.
Yeah, and I think this is where the design of that Tufts lineup really starts to show its true purpose, because once Whitfield gets on, you've got 2 veteran players in McCullough and Fleischer who've shown today they can get on base and turn it over to the top of the lineup.
1-0. McCullough swings and drives that one deep into left field. Getting under it is LeClaire, and he'll bring it in.
It's a nice play there by LeClaire. I think with Whitfield's speed, he probably could have tagged there, but you don't necessarily want to tag from first base on a fly ball to left field, which lines up a straight throw through to second, but definitely hung up there for a while, and now we'll see Fleischer come up with 2 down.
The shortstop, number 12, Ozzie Fleischer.
So Collins has 2 quick outs in his third. Fleischer swings and slaps that one into right field. Caught by Forrester. So Collins came in today with an ugly ERA, but gets out of this one with no runs scored. The score remains 5-2 as we head to the top of the 6th. Inning showdown, mascot mayhem, the Tufts Jumbos versus the Colby Mules, and I think like most times we do this exercise, the outcome is fairly obvious, but for the sake of it, Max, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to revert to internet meme culture here and go with atomic bomb versus coughing baby. That seems to be the appropriate analogy for this matchup. I mean, the Tufts, it's really no contest. I mean, the Jumbo is trouncing all over the Mule. And we're not just saying that as Tufts students, but I think if this battle played out in real life, it'd be a pretty quick one.
What weapon is listed for the Mules?
Hooves, which I think Jumbos.
I think elephants also have hooves.
So, like, it's really not unique. Sorry.
How many mules would it take to
do? Although, Jumbos are pretty composed under pressure, so I doubt any number of mules would rattle a Jumbo.
We're back with action here. First pitch swinging. Genki Leclerc records a strike. We do this a lot, and it seems like no matter how you slice it, the giant elephant is usually going to win the battle. He taps that one out, reaching and unable to grab it is Fleischer, so a little bloop single for Genki Leclerc, and he leads off the 6th inning with a single.
Yeah, Fleischer with his best attempt there at the David Wright over the shoulder, retreating into the outfield catch. Unfortunately comes up just short. Leclerc will reach base, not something Reed wants to see with its pitch count nearing 90 in the 6th inning here. Yeah,
Reed went 7 innings in his last start, as we talked about, one of the best starter, the outstretched glove of Fleischer.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't see who it was. Pinch runner first base will get you that in 1 minute. Here's the catcher, number 10.
It's with Hillenberg today. You know, he's filling in from Palmieri behind the dish, but he did have a pass ball get by him, and he has not been able to match the offensive output from Palmieri. So
Frame is a native of Mill Valley, California. Coming 0-2 count.
Frame is hitting 273 on the season in one start, but still 15 appearances. Looks like he gets most of them as a pinch runner. So definitely a guy with some speed for Reed to watch out here in the late innings.
Yeah, 2 stolen bases on caught by the center fielder Fleckner. He's been solid all day in center field, and 1 out.
Yeah, nice play there by Fleckner. Nowhere with 1 down.
Patrick McConnell, the center fielder, grounded out in his first at-bat, lined out in his second at-bat, will now bat with a man on first and 1 out. Reed delivers, swung on and missed. Tips maybe, but a strike.
Yep. He gets really low to the ground here with his hands dangling in front of him as he leads off first base.
2 men on base now, still only 1.
First baseman allowing that ball to seep.
Rake singled 100 coming in today, not too much.
They're going to reevaluate things here. As we mentioned, is a danger.
On an 8 recently, 8 hole is pretty much is signaling. Now they're going back out one more time. Maybe some time maneuvering from the Jumbos.
Yeah, some manipulation, if you will. Clock, which there is no clock, but the biological clock of the arm of the reliever coming in. Although,
maybe not.
Looks like Reed's going to stay out there. The umpire can't be pleased with this lengthy deliberation.
So another mound visit charged to the Jumbos. Pitcher still working in the bullpen. That's what the Jumbos are looking for, but don't want to make a mistake. A 3-run home run would, of course, tie the game. The tying runner is at home plate right now. Just misses. I think Whitfield thought that would be a strike.
Yeah, it certainly looked like one from up here, and I think Reed, if he's not a senior who's proven he's the best pitcher in this program, he's out of this ball game. He's built up the credibility to still be out there and facing Shrake with the game in the balance here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, Reed, 94 pitches so far, pushing towards 100, not yet through 6 innings. That one right down the middle. Fastball for a strike. 1-1.
Got to 122 last week, so he's proven that ability with a durable arm. And I think if he can save the Jumbos bullpen with another game today and a game tomorrow against Bowdoin, the coaching staff would really appreciate that.
1-1 count. Reed fired, but held up in the air just long enough. The runners only advance 1 base, and now the bases are loaded. Soft contact hurts with 1 out here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, nothing Pena could really do about that. He did his best to come in and try to make a play on that ball, but it's just out of his reach. A little excuse me single there from Shrake. As Flippo comes up with the bases loaded, he is the go-ahead run at the plate.
And so Flippo, a 9-hole hitter, hitting 400 in 21 starts on the season. So not someone you, again, if you can get out of this inning unscathed, only 1 inning to go in the 7-inning game, you can put in a closer type of reliever and try to save your bullpen for the next game, but need to get out of this one first. Reed, 0-1, just inside.
Yeah, and as soon as that ball's in play, Whitfield's got to be out in front of the dish, screaming that it's a force at the plate. Unless, of course, the Jumbos can turn a double play up the middle.
And now 1-2.
Nice pitch there from Reed. I think also that shows confidence in his catcher, Whitfield, that he would go with a pitch down in the dirt with a runner leading off third base.
At the left fielder, runner on third will tag. Rydell throws it back in the infield, so a loud second out will bring in a run, but probably okay with that if you're Silas Reed.
Yeah, he'll definitely take that. Rydell misplayed that ball a little bit, had to go back and make the grab over his head. Frame scores easily from third base, and that might be Silas Reed's day there. But still 2 outs and only runners on first and second for whoever the new pitcher will be.
He got through 5 2/3 innings 3 runs, 6 hits, and an error, so I believe only 2 earned runs will be added to his line for the season. We'll be right back as the pitcher starts to get warm. So the new pitcher, Robert Gray, enters the game to the sounds of Rico by Meek Mill. He is a flamethrower on the mound, sits around 90, can hit around 93, and down the middle for strike 1.
Yeah, Gray's certainly quite the imposing right-hander out there on the mound. So far this season, an 8 1/3. It does have a 4.32 ERA, but the strikeouts, 13 strikeouts. Last time he had 4 over 1 2/3 against Bates. So the stuff is there. He's a guy you want in a high-leverage situation. He throws hard. He's got blow-away stuff. And he's got Forster in the top of this Colby lineup here.
Yeah, started off the season with 2 scoreless innings, 4 strikeouts in those 2 appearances. Last 2 outings has given up 3 runs total. He did have 4 strikeouts against Bates, but has the potential to get roughed up a little, but he has good stuff. See it right there. Swing and miss, and he's ahead 1-2. See if he can fire one past the leadoff hitter, Forster, who has flied out in all 3 of his at-bats so far
was
today.
not ready for that velocity there from Gray. Pitch right down the middle. He swung right past it.
So 1-2. Walk, 4 strikeouts. 13 strikeouts, 2 walks on the season so far. The 1-2 pitch from Gray. Inside, almost got Forster on the leg. It'll be 2-2. Gray looks in at his catcher. Fires low, and the ball gets away from the catcher, Whitfield, and the runners will advance. So now only Force will be at first base, and it is 3-2.
Yeah, not the outcome you wanted off that an hour, but now runners on second and third and a full count.
Fires outside. He walks. The first man he faces, Marcus Forster, to load the bases, and the dangerous Ryan Grace up to bat with the even more dangerous Cole Palmieri waiting in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, we mentioned Gray's got quite the repertoire. That was only his 3rd walk of the season, so even though the ERA is above 4, it is rare to see him walk a batter. And now the heart of the Colby lineup with the game in the balance.
Gray, that ball smoked into the gap, and that will get at least 1 run home. 2 cut down at home plate was Marcus Forrester. So 2 runs come in to score and tie the game, and the 3rd run nailed at home plate. So 5-5 off a line drive into the gap from Ryan Grace, and an interesting end to the top of the 6th inning. So after a dramatic end to the top of the sixth, we are back. Bottom of the sixth inning, leadoff hitter Henry Fleckner up to bat for the Jumbos. That was a seeing eye, ended up being, I guess, a single on the scorebook into right center field. The relay throw got, Marcus Forster at the plate after 2 runs came in. So a tie game now has totally flipped this game on its head. It will remain Collins on the mound for Colby in what is now a tie game.
Yeah, that was a frozen rope by Grace off the bat into the right center field head run at the plate, but still, after leading by 3 runs, now the Jumbos find themselves in a tie game with the top of the lineup batting here in the bottom of the 6th.
In his second, already walked a couple guys today. Fleckner takes that one outside, 2-1. Fleckner, the 2-1 pitch, but straight to center field. Should be an easy play. 1 out.
Pretty straightforward play there from McConnell to Rizzo. Wouldn't have been shocked if Coach Svagdis went with a pitch hitter to get the left arm on right-handed batter matchup there, but still sticking with his guy, Ben Leonard, who's 1 for 3 on the day.
Yeah, so as you said, it will be lefty on lefty with 1 out.
Yeah, he definitely went around there, biting on the breaking ball, and that's strike 1. Collins will be glad to see that as he stands behind the mound and now comes in to get his sign.
Yeah, I think Collins wants to get ahead of the top of this Tufts lineup.
Leonard sees it right out of the hand. That's going low and away. And we've got 1-1 with 1 down.
So our back in play. This is weather ever changing. Collins continues to try to work the outside corner, but not getting the edge. 2-1 now to Ben Leonard, the DH. The pitch. Swung on and belted, but cutting. That ball started off going directly to right field, turned back towards center, and a beautiful play in center field for the second out.
Yeah, it's a great sort of just falls backwards, and the ball nestles into his glove to retire Leonard, but the wind took that one, redirected it every which way, ended up right over McConnell's head, and now 2 down here as the Mules will meet at the mound.
Yeah, off the bat, thought that would be in the right center field gap, but that wind looked like it pushed it back towards the 400 sign in center field. Unclear at the moment, but he's gotten 2 outs here in the 6th in this game. Suddenly, one that could threaten to go into extras. So the team's best reliever, he's got a 1.5 ERA, 19 strikeouts, and 3 walks so far this season. First pitch to Tufts popped up, and we will now head to the top of the 7th. So it all really comes down to this. Greco comes in, gets 1 quick out. The 7th in for the Jumbos, the pitcher Jacob Lapp comes into today 13 2/3 innings in 7 appearances, no starts, a 3.29 ERA, 8 strikeouts, 2 walks. So he's been a solid. He went deep in his last at bat to left field, and he's looking to do it again here to give the Mules the lead in a tie ball game.
This is exactly who Lapp does not want to face coming out of the bullpen. Palmieri absolutely demolished the ball in his last.
Got this 2-0 pitch. In for a strike.
Nicely done there from Lapp. His last time out against Endicott went 1 inning, no runs, in a scoreless inning that ultimately ended in a loss for the Jumbos.
Lapp on Mass Boston, 2 2/3 scoreless against Bowdoin, and then another scoreless inning against Endicott. Really, most of his runs came in a 3-inning relief outing against Chapman on the 20th of March. That pitch borderline, but a called strike to run the count to 3-2. So now, 3-2. Swung on and hit back out of play by Palmieri.
Whitfield thought he had a shot, but I think that cleared the press box.
You're just hoping you can get an out from Palmieri, even when it might be unlikely.
At this point, anything not over the fence is pretty much a success against him.
Yeah, Palmieri, 3 at-bats today. Single, walk, home run. Day will put a man on with no outs. That's Palmieri's 16th walk of the season, and his OPS just keeps climbing.
Yeah, don't dislike that pitch selection from Lapp. Caught the outer half of the plate. Better frame job, might have gotten the call, but in a 5-5 game, those borderline calls are not going to go your way. So looks like we're going to get a pinch hitter for O'Brien here.
Number 34, Noah Reichman, in the game for Colby, pinch hitting for Brady O'Brien. O'Brien struck out twice and walked once in his 3 at-bats. Reichman comes into the day hitting .290 with no home runs, 10 RBIs, and an .814 OPS in 13 games, 10 starts for Colby so far. Swings through that one. Yeah, interesting choice. O'Brien, like one of the more acclaimed hitters in this Colby lineup. He's a guy who's been on the All-NESCAC team 3 seasons in a row, but choosing to replace him here. Again, he was hit on that pitch at second base earlier in the game. Could be injury related.
Yeah, I was just going to say that maybe it might just be a precaution. You don't want to exaggerate any injury that might have occurred earlier in this game. Reichman, as we said, he is hitting .290, so not too shabby in his own right.
Still no outs with Palmieri on first. Lapp fires over. Maybe the most accurate pickoff attempt we've seen so far today. Still 1-1. Reichman, a senior, will ground that one through the hole on the left side and keep the line moving. So now 2 on and still no out with Lapp on the mound.
Yeah, it looks like Fleischer was just too close to the second base bag to get to that one. It was in the hole between him and Solomon there at third base. Nobody out still for the Mules.
And here's what a couple games will do to you. Through the first 10-plus games of the season for Reichman, he was hitting 1 up, now 1 for 1 today. So in his last 3 appearances, he has done nothing but smoke the ball. Now 7 for his last. Now 2 men on second and third, and an open base at first.
Yeah, and Frame is getting an at-bat after coming in. Anything else from here on out in this at-bat is just a bonus for him.
With no outs at this point, you wonder, Tufts considers putting him on first and trying to find a forced play. Colby threatening to take the lead here in the top of the 7th. Frame swings, puts that ball into the gap. It will be fielded by the right fielder. 1 run is in. That will be all. But a clutch single from Carson Frame, who entered the game as a pinch runner, puts the Colby Mules ahead, coming all the way back against the Tufts Jumbos.
Yeah, they've taken the lead now. Frame, as we said, comes off the bench. The freshman comes through in a big spot, just sort of lofts a single. Again, we know Frame has some speed over there at first base. Nobody down. And still a dangerous opportunity here for the Mules.
So Hillenberg looking to lay down a bunt, pulls it back in time. He's struck out, grounded out, and flied out in his 3 at-bats so far.
Yeah, Hillenberg made a nice play to end the bottom of the 6th, going to the backstop and catching that pop fly. Trying to give the Jumbos a taste of their own medicine here by showing bunt.
Pitch is low, so it'll be 2-0. What started off as a pitcher's duel, see a little more offense. This is a Colby team that is no stranger to putting up a lot of runs. See if they can.
Top teams in the NESCAC East, and I think, you know, despite how yesterday's game started, it's proven that they're pretty tight in terms of their ability. We've got a 6-5 game here.
3-1.
If I'm Lap, I'm not pleased with that call. I thought that caught some of the plate, but Hillenberg now with a hitter's count up 3-1, and still nobody out.
Just in for a strike, maybe a generous call on 3-1. It will be 3-2 now. Still no outs.
Yeah, looks like that one was a bit higher in the zone, and that's why Lap got the call there.
Three-two count. Ball outside, well outside, and that will load the bases. So now, very dangerous, bases loaded, no outs for Patrick McConnell, who grounded out, lined out, and hit a single in his last at-bat. This is a Colby offense that has scored 10 or more runs 13 times entering today's game right now. First pitch uncompetitive, high, as the catcher Whitfield has to stand up, and Lap having a little bit of a hard time finding the zone.
Yeah, and you questioned whether their ability to score 10-plus runs in a game would falter as they entered NESCAC play, but they've proven so far it has absolutely not. They're an offensive juggernaut.
Just competitive at-bats up and down the lineup, really for both teams. Haven't seen a ton of swing and miss, even with a guy like Silas Reed on the bump for the Jumbos. Now Lap in the game, and they are threatening for sure. Bases still loaded, 1-1 count. That's a good pitch on the outside corner. It's exactly what Lap was looking for to get ahead 1-2.
Yeah, Lap manages to find the zone there. Now he's got the advantage on McConnell here. 1-2 pitch. We'll see what he does in an attempt to put him away.
It would take quite the balancing act to get out of this one unscathed, aside from the 1 run. Swung on and missed, so he gets the first out on a strikeout against the center fielder Patrick McConnell, and that's what you really needed there.
Yeah, that was a great pitch, breaking ball right through the zone. McConnell just swings right underneath it. 1 down, the middle infielders will retreat to double play depth, and here comes Shrake, but Lap's chances of getting out of this inning went up a lot after that strikeout.
Shrake lined out in his first at-bat, but 2 singles since then. Will take the first pitch on the inside corner for a strike. Right side, 1 run is in. Second run coming around third base. He will score, and a 2-run single for Patrick Shrake extends the Colby lead. It's 8-5, and boy, has this game flipped on its head.
It certainly has, and we saw Shrake do that in his last at-bat. Same exact approach. A ground ball single through the left side of the infield, right side, excuse me, of the infield. 2 runs come in to score. It's now 8-5 Colby, and Flippo will come up here for the Mules, try to extend that advantage. Things not working out for Lap so far in the top of the 7th.
And now 7 unanswered runs by the Mules have changed this from a 5-1 game to an 8-5 game. And as I said, it's just been competitive at-bat after competitive at-bat. Good swing decisions. We saw it right there. Just slapped that ball where there's no one to stop you on the right side of the infield. 2 runs come in, and now Clint Flippo up to bat as the Jumbos meet on the mound. Into the game for Jacob Lapp comes the senior from Fairfield Prep, Darien, Connecticut, Liam Wilson. Right-handed pitcher,
Wilson on the season has done quite well. 8 2/3 innings pitched, 2.08 ERA. He's got 7 strikeouts. Does have 6 walks, though, so that ratio is getting a little too close for his liking, probably. But still has done a fine job out of the pen for the Jumbos this year.
and he comes into a sticky situation, 2-man on. Clint Flippo at the plate. Well, last time around, recorded another one. This time around, Flippo, as we talked about, a 9-hitter hitting 400, 15 RBIs. Looks like the umpire thought about it, but just outside, 2-1.
Definitely the crowd thought about that one as well. Looks like it was just a bit high, maybe above the letters of Flippo. Now 2-1. Wilson will try.
Delivers. Grounded up the middle, double play potential. Bobbled by Fleischer, but he will fire it to first for the double play. So the Jumbos do get out of it with only, and I say only, 3 runs against them. We head to the bottom of the 7th. Work cut out for the Jumbos, 8-5. Bottom of the 7th, it's do or die for the Jumbos here in this doubleheader. This first game is a 7-inning game, so if the Jumbos fail to score 3 runs or more, it will be over for them. We only briefly got to talk about the pitcher Ryan Greco, who came in through in 8 appearances so far. He's 3-0, 18 innings, 18 strikeouts, 3 walks. Pretty hard to top that. He gets behind 1-0 quickly to the left fielder Jackson Rydell. Is across for a strike.
I think the strategy for the Tufts players here is not going to swing until you get strike 1. You want to ensure you don't bite at any balls and hinder your chances of coming back into this ball game.
Yeah, game is certainly not over, and Rydell puts his bat on it, but directly to the third baseman and the recently entered Reichman. He records the first out.
It was a good swing by Rydell. Didn't come off the bat as hard as you might have hoped for a line drive of that caliber, but Reichman right there lunges to his left, retires the first out of the bottom of the 7th. So a good start for Greco, and here comes Solomon with Tufts hopes on the line.
Solomon takes the first pitch for a strike. Side. Solomon taken all the way. That one in the dirt. 2-1.
Yeah, that one missed low, and then Greco's in no runs.
Low again. 3-1.
Colby's dugout did not like that call, just below the knees of Pat Solomon. He's got a hitter's count now, 3-1. We'll see what he can do with Greco's next offering.
That one in for a strike. Solomon, through his bat, was walking down the first baseline, and a late strike call from the umpire will make it 3-2.
Never a good look to throw your bat and then have to come back after that strike 2. Greco is definitely fired up after that one. Solomon getting a little greedy. Greco
now delivers a ball off the end of the bat and out of play.
Solomon fighting to stay alive, was a little behind that pitch.
That one might have actually hit a car.
The one time we don't get the sound effects, it might have actually hit a car, but I digress.
All right, 3-2, we'll do it again. 1 out, bottom of the 7th. As I said, if you're just joining us, this will be it for the game if the Jumbos cannot rally. 3-2 pitch. Popped up. Playable for the first baseman coming back towards the bag, and he makes the catch. Ryan Grace brings it in, and that's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th.
Nice job by Grace. I've been fair territory, but he is able to get underneath it and retire the second out of the inning. So now Flavin is the Jumbo's last hope. We saw them rally with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th last night. Can they do the same here?
Grace. (1-0). Dropped by the catcher, but in for a strike.
Yeah, even though Hillenberg dropped that one, it was clearly within the strike zone. Umpire is going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Called strike 1, and now Flavin will get the chance to swing away if he so chooses.
That one well outside. Two and 1. Greco. Same location and another ball. Catcher wants him to bring it back inside a little bit now.
But Greco will not show fear going within the strike zone and nobody on base.
3-1. Ends in an 8-5 victory for the Mules, what started off promisingly for the Jumbos in a 5-1 lead. Quickly turned around, 7 unanswered runs by the Mules. 8-5 is your final score. My name is Jared Cohen. I've been joined by my good friend Max Druckman. We will be back for the second leg of this doubleheader shortly. Will be a new stream, so look out for that. Thank you for joining, and as always, stay home safely.